So at this point, we are almost done with Flick Finder, but there's a couple other things that we need to take care of first. So I'm going to run the app and show you what those problems are. So right now, I can actually try to search when there is no phrase. And this isn't doing anything. It's not actually causing any problems yet, but the user doesn't know that nothing's going to be returned. So this is a problem. We should definitely give the user some kind of feedback when they try to search with an empty phrase or even an empty latitude and longitude. The next problem is that we can actually search for really any number in the latitude and longitude text fields. And because there's actually a bound for latitude from like -90 to 90, this is a problem. So we could search right now for, let's say, this number and this number. And if we search, we're not going to get any type of meaningful result. I don't even know if this search will go through. So one thing that we can do to address these problems is when we search for images like this and we get something about the image down here in this label, whenever we search for something invalid, say an empty string, we can give the user some feedback by populating this label with some type of debug information. So it's a simple solution, but it'll work for our purposes. So each of these considerations we will need to make for this exercise, adding error handling. But first you'll want to make sure you have the most recent Git branch, and then we'll follow these steps. So when the user searches, we need to ensure that the relevant text fields are not empty. So if we're searching here for the phrase, then the phrase text field doesn't need to be empty. And if we're searching for a image by latitude or longitude, then neither of these text fields need to be empty. And if it's a lat/long search, we need to make sure that both of these values are actually numbers instead of potentially strings or something else that the user might enter. And we'll also tack on this additional check to make sure that the latitude falls between -90 and 90 and the longitude falls between -180 and 180. And these checks are just based on how the bounding box is specified for the Flickr API. In other places you may see longitude and latitude coordinates given with a direction instead of these negative positive notations. But again, we'll need to make this check. And if any of these cases occur, then we'll want to make sure that the user knows. And again, we can reuse this photo title label down here to inform them that some errors occurred when they've been searching. When you're done, check the box.